friends, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing my review of Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Mistborn Era 2 series following Wax and Wayne. Now, this one took the series, in my opinion, to the next level. There was definitely more in this one. So in the first book, you basically learn and follow Wax when he's coming back from the roughs, and then he's trying to not get involved with being a lawman, but then he does get involved with being a lawman. And the magic you follow, not only is it allomancy, but also, I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, but it's like a chemical fur. The one that starts with the F. I can't pronounce it, to be quite honest. I say furchemy or whatever when I read it, and I know it's definitely wrong, but Wax is twin-born, so you get to learn about that. Well, then in this one, you learn more about hemorrhagy. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong, but hemorrhagy. And Brandon brings back the Chondras because you don't really get to see the Chondras in the first one. He's easing you back into the world slowly because in Mistborn Era 1, the world is basically barren. It's cloudy because the volcanoes are covering it in clouds and ash and all kinds of stuff. Well, then, at the end of that, Saz, who becomes ruin and preservation, or in this book, he's called Harmony, he restored Scadrial to where it needed to be. So now you're seeing a world in Mistborn Era 2 where it's not ash ridden. It's got flowing water, it's got trees and flowers and grass and all kinds of other stuff. So it's a different world, and this is 300 years ahead from that one, so there's some technological developments. Nothing major from what you and I know, but I mean, they have guns, and they're getting into motor cars. So I would say, more of the early, with the motor cars, the era is probably like late 1800s, early 1900s kind of thing. But this was really, really good. But yeah, so this one, Wax is moving forward with the wedding with Steris. But Steris is fine with his hobbies, she calls it. They've kind of actually, in my opinion, like, it's not like they bonded, but they understand each other, But this is following Wax basically trying to fight something that you can't kill, and that's the Chondras. The Chondras you can't kill. They are immortal beings. Now and that is because they are made by hermologic spikes. Well, the Chondra that they're trying to catch, because she's trying to make chaos. She's trying to tear down Elendel by killing and getting the people into riots and all kinds of stuff. And so Wax is trying to find her, not only to calm the people, but also because she is going after the governor. The twist at the end, I did not see at all. And it was crazy to me. So we're going to talk about that. because it's crazy. Super, super crazy. But basically, before we talk about that, Brandon Sanderson does a phenomenal job leading you up to the final climax of the book. And you guys know this already from all my other Brandon Sanderson reviews. He knows how to write a character, he knows how to write a magic system, and he knows how to world build and then twist in mystery and answer questions from the previous book, but then give you questions that you want answered now, but he's not going to answer right away. So yeah. But anyway, the twist. The Kandra they're trying to find and kill, Wax follows her out, she tried to kill the governor, follows her out, all that kind of stuff. And then he ends up back at the Kandra homeland and runs into Tensoon, who we know Tensoon because of the first series. But what's really interesting is Wayne was the one who found out that the governor was already dead. But he got tied up and whatever else, and I think Wax came back and he realized that the governor was already dead and that the Kandra was the governor. So he brings Marasi and they go and confront her, and then he follows the Kandra out the window and chases the Kandra down, while Marasi is trying to help unbind Wayne, but then also get the Kandra that is helping them, Milan, to become the governor, because he's supposed to be giving a speech. And so there's a little bit of that at the end, and Marasi does a great job, and so does Milan and all that stuff. The twist is that the Kandra, who was going crazy and trying to free people, is what she was saying, was actually Lessie, who Wax fell in love with and got married to. And we only learn slight about their relationship through the first book, but we learn more in this one. So that Kandra, her name is actually Palm, was sent to keep an eye on Wax. And she said it wasn't Harmony's doing on me falling in love with you. And then she must have gotten into something, because basically Harmony made Lessie get in the way of the bullet, basically, to get Wax to come back to Ellendale, because Harmony needed him to come back for something. But that's been bothering Wax. Well, this time, when he drives the second spike into her head or whatever, wherever, Harmony is going to take control of Palm again, or Lessie, whoever you say. And because the Kandra has figured out how to kill themselves, she kills herself, because she doesn't want to go back to being controlled by Harmony. And so at the end, you really see Wax in a depressant state. And then you also kind of see a little bit more of a side of Steris, of where she doesn't say anything, she just sits there and she's near him and by him. And I think that, in my opinion, changes their relationship from it being a contract of just marriage and cohabitance to something else that's growing. And hopefully we'll see in the next 2 books. But this was definitely 5 stars, and I'm really excited to dive into the next book and learn more on the mystery, because this one also, it only talked a little bit about the set, which is basically the crime syndicate that Wax's uncle is running, basically. But we don't fully understand what they want yet. And I'm hoping we get a little bit more of an inkling in that in this third book, because we still really don't know. We understand that Wax's uncle took women who are allomancers, and it sounds like he wants them for breeding purposes. But we're not sure if, like, what his end game is with that. Or is it a step in a multi-step plan that he has, and we don't know anything about it. So I'm hoping in the third book we get to learn more about what the set's motives are, Wax's uncle's motives are, and we get to see Steris and Wax's relationship grow a little bit more, and also just the banter between Wax and Wayne is absolutely fantastic, and I love it. So that is my review of Shadows of Self. Spoiler filled, of course, because I just can't not give a non-spoiler review about this book, or this series, to be honest. So if you've read this, let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are, and if you've read the whole series of Mistborn Era 2, just let me know overall what you thought. Don't spoil anything for me, because I want to be excited, and I want to see all the reveals and all that stuff. So, but don't forget, like, subscribe, and be good people.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think